So, do you have any questions?
What is your soup of the day?
We have a mulligatawny soup.
Oh, do you have any specials?
We have a steak special today.
Oh, how's that cooked?
That's pan-seared and then...
Does it come with a side dish? Is it grilled? Can I have it steamed? So, what do you recommend? What kind of pie do you have? You're an actor. Aren't you from Ohio?
Any questions?
Ask questions. For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
Welcome to this edition of Lank's Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. My special guest today from the Springs at Carroll, Miranda Williams, Sales and Marketing Manager, Carol McKinney, RN and Wellness Director, and Gabriel Tucker, who is the Residence Director. Welcome, ladies. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
I guess the first question in the Springs at Carroll is, where is it?
We are right behind Tractor Supply. There's Rock Mill Rehab, and we are right behind Rock Mill Rehab.
We've talked about, or I've talked with other people about the difference between a nursing home and an assisted living. Talk about the difference, I guess, might be the first thing that everybody wants to know about. What is actually the difference between the two?
Well, the difference between the two really is you can be independent living in our community, or you can have up to full total care. So we can do as much as what a nursing home can, but we have the option of being independent.
It's more a home, it's like a home-like atmosphere. So you have your own apartment, you come and go as you please. Our employees treat you like this is your home, because it is. I mean, and we're all family there. So it has that more home-like setting, I think.
And one of the things that we talked about off air earlier was that people are residents, they're not patients.
Correct.
Which
Yes.
was new to me, because I always thought it was just patients.
Right. A patient is, like we were talking as far as a nursing home, where they're a resident, that is their home. So we want to make sure that they feel like they're in their home, they have their own place, their own space.
One of the questions that people ask a lot is there a waiting list to get in? Is there something you have to go through? Are there priorities? Is there a application you have to fill out? How do you, I guess, get into the Springs of Carroll?
Basically, just come up, look around. If interested, then what we do is Carol, because she's the wellness director in RN, she does an assessment, which kind of goes through all the aspects of living and the care that they could receive. And then based on that, we decide where the person would fall within their level of care. And that's basically it.
Is there an age limit, to get in, or?
Yes, 55 and older.
Yes, I make that. I qualify for that, so it's okay.
Well, maybe we can talk after this.
People talk about financing. Getting into assisted living, whatever it might be, you have to put up so much money. How does that work? How does that...
It's different for each assisted living, but us in particular, we're completely private pay. Now, you can still be on Medicare or Medicaid. That's fine. You can still get meds through them and, different things that you may need for living, like a shower chair and things like that. But,
yeah, it's just private pay. Now there's some, if you have long-term care, you might, if you invested in that, then that could kick in. And we can look into all of that and help with that. So.
And we also can contact home health agencies to come in. I know we do a lot of work with some of the local hospice companies here, like Fairhope. And also we have a doctor that comes in regularly and a podiatrist.
So if somebody comes in, a patient, or not a patient, but a resident comes in and does not have a physician, you'll supply one, or you have access to one?
We have access to one 24/7. Okay. He's been really wonderful. Dr. Varney has helped us out quite a bit with our residents. So we can contact him in the middle of the night and he responds. So it's been real nice.
If someone wants to come in, do they make an appointment? They show up? What's the easiest thing to do?
They can make an appointment or they can just show up.
Tours, are they available?
Yes.
Anytime.
Anytime for a tour.
Are they hour, half hour, 45 minutes?
However
Depends.
long.
However long, we've had some to last
3,
4
4
hours.
Really?
So, yes.
I didn't realize that. That's longer than I thought. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, cell phone number, or should they call you directly, or email? I know there's some information.
Yes, they can call our office at 740-654-4529 and ask to speak with a manager, and we can definitely speak with them and take all their information, and hopefully they'll come in for a tour.
What's the most difficult thing about each of your jobs that you have to do?
Do you really want to know?
Sure, absolutely.
This might take longer than
I
I
don't.
thought.
I don't know a lot about assisted living, so.
For me, being in marketing, I think it's more so our location. A lot of people, we're kind of like a hidden gem, so we're nobody knows that we're really there. So when I go out and talk to people, they tend to affiliate us with Rockmill Rehab, and they think that we are affiliated with Rockmill when we're not. So it's just kind of, taking the two and separating them, I would say.
I don't know a specific challenge. What I do is, I'm not just sitting in my office all day. I mean, that's, I think, what stereotypically...
That's what these two said about you.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sure they did. As an administrator, a lot of times they spend a lot of time in the office, but I think a big part of my job and what makes it successful is that I am out, going to the residents' apartments, making sure everything's okay, if they're unhappy with something or what they like the most, so that we can continue to do that, or the things they're not happy with, we can change them. So.
Carol? Being an RN, I know. We've talked a little bit already. But,
Well, I'm on call 24/7, which I don't mind a bit. I've gotten phone calls at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't do very well for the sleep, but I love my job. I love my residents. It's if we have something going on, they know if I run, there's something, they better follow me.
What are some of the activities that go on in the assisted living center? I know people talk about just all sorts of different things. What kind of things go on at the Springs at Carroll?
Well, we have a full-time activities director, which is really nice for the residents. They do outings, just like yesterday they took a trip to Bob Evans and had lunch. They play bingo and make crafts, and basically we just kind of, see what they like too, and we're always open for ideas, and there's always something going on.
My favorite is when they do food activities.
Food activities?
Yeah.
So that was the other question. We're talking about food. Can they cook in their apartments? Do they have kitchens?
a kitchenette.
Okay.
So they have a microwave and a refrigerator and a sink. So.
And that's why our activities director does those things with them. They made crock pot apple butter in the fall. So little things like that they were used to doing at home, they might not have access to all the things they needed in their kitchenette, but then they have access to ours. So they still get to have what they had in their own home.
Is it difficult for the residents that are new, knowing they just left their home here? Is it
It can be an adjustment. We do have a resident ambassador also that is one of our residents that has been there a while, and she kind of takes them under her wing and lets them meet everybody, introduces them to everybody, so we try to make them feel as comfortable as possible.
Is it a big adjustment for families also to
It can be.
see grandma, grandpa?
It can be hard at times too. So, but they're allowed to come in anytime, day or night. So, we don't restrict visitation time or anything like that.
Oh, really? So it's open 24 hours?
24/7. If they decide they want to come check on Grandma at 1 o'clock in the morning, they can.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
The when people first come in to the Springs at Carroll, and they're what do people look for? I guess might be if I were going to take like JT in. What would I be looking at? What were things I would be looking for?
I think a lot of people are just looking to socialize. They're looking to be able to not just sit at home where they live currently and not have anything to do or anyone to talk to. So I think they're just kind of looking for something to do and people to talk to. A lot of them, when they come in, they always seem to mention food.
It's a good thing.
Because,
Yeah.
right. And, a lot of people's perspective on food is it's a nursing home or it's a hospital, and they tend to think that the food, is not something that you would want to eat. That's why when we do a tour, we try to have them come in during a lunch hour or dinner time so that they can taste our food. Because it's a lot different than what you would think. We have 3 restaurant-style meals a day. And we have a very good cook right now, so she makes. We eat there, so
Yeah. We eat there a lot.
She's originally from Kentucky too, so she's a good
Southern
country home cooking. And meals are important to people. We have a food committee meeting each month, and all the residents get together. We sit down, talk about what they liked for the month, so then we can have it more often.
Have you ever had anything way out of the ordinary, like honey baked pie or something like that? Something that.
Liver and onions was not my favorite, but
Liver and
somebody had
onions.
requested that, so that's what they ended up having. But yeah, so.
And they seem to always want eggs every morning for breakfast. That seems to be a popular food.
Take us through a normal day of what you guys go through. I know you get there, and just take us through a normal day.
Well,
I don't think most
I
days
start.
are
No,
normal.
I usually when I start my day, I go into the kitchen because it's breakfast time. So I will help serve breakfast, talk to the residents, see how the night went. See what's going on for the day, get their ideas if they want to do something different activity-wise for that day. Then, they'll go and they'll do exercises in the morning with our activities person. And then they'll do, it depends on, on salon days, because we have a beautician that comes in twice a week. On those days, they'll go in, they'll sing in the salon and just kind of, sit back and talk. It's a good socialization time. So instead of just sitting there waiting to meet with Dottie, our beautician, they get to be doing something. And then we'll have lunch, and we are all part of lunch. We go and we serve the restaurant-style meals. Then usually they'll go on to another activity.
And then popcorn's always at 1 o'clock.
Popcorn, 1 o'clock.
Every day, popcorn.
Every day, and if it's
So
not.
if I show up at 1 o'clock, I'm
Yeah,
going
you're
to
Getting
popcorn.
popcorn.
If it's not popping at 1 o'clock, somebody is
Somebody-
saying something to you.
Uh-huh.
Yes. They look forward to that.
The oldest resident there,
97.
97.
Yeah, and
Going strong.
he is going strong.
Really?
Yes.
One thing I want to point out too is we do allow pets. So we have several of our residents that have pets, and a couple of them I think even have 1 or 2 have cat, and then we have a few
Couple dogs.
couple dogs. And we even have one dog that is kind of our little mascot. Jessie, she comes around and she's always in all of our offices and always laying out front, and she's very friendly. So.
Some people ask questions about regulations for assisted living centers, and what is it governed by the state, the federal government? We'll talk a little bit about the regulations for assisted living facilities.
Well, it's not as far as any different really than any of the nursing homes as far as regulation-wise. We, are definitely for med pass and everything. It's all ran
And
pretty
what's a
much the
med
same.
pass for those that don't?
We have med pass times, and it depends on each resident. So it would vary between 6 a.m. to 8 to possibly 9. And then we have around noon, and then around 3, and then at bedtime around 9 o'clock, 8, 9 o'clock. So, and we customize that, of course, to the residents. So whenever they need their medications, we can provide those for them. So if they're not independent, and that's
Right.
something that we do provide is, we will help them with their medications. We will assist them with the bathrooms and also transferring them from a wheelchair to bed. So we do a lot of the little things that people don't really think about.
So is it something that's inspected every month or every year, or do you have to go through certain inspections, or?
We're inspected by the state yearly.
Okay.
So we go through the same process. So, they'll walk in at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yay, we're here.
Yeah, we're here. Thanks for being here. I know we talked about 46 apartments. Is that just single units, or are there like husband and wife living together? Or?
They can do either.
Okay.
So
We have different apartment sizes as well. We have 1-bedroom apartments, and then we have studios, studio deluxe. So I mean, it's whatever they choose. And then like she said, husband and wife, and so sometimes you have more than one per room.
right, and that's another thing too. A lot of people, like when I've interviewed nurses or aides, and they're like, "Why don't you have everybody centralized like a nursing home?" And I'm like, "Because we're not a nursing home. They can pick whatever apartment they want, whatever view they want, and we make sure that they're comfortable, they're happy where they're at."
Is that difficult to talk about nursing home and assisted living? Because I know we've talked on it a couple of times, and there seems to be a real, we're a nursing home, we're not assisted living. We're assisted living, we're nursing home. Is that, from a marketing standpoint, our end, is it difficult to deal with?
It is, because people do ask. I mean, a lot of times, when I'm talking to someone, they're like, "Oh, I don't want mom in a nursing home." And it's like, well, it's not a nursing home. They think, well, is it going to smell bad when I walk in? And a lot of people ask that question. So it is hard to know the difference, and you just have to get them in your door so they can see for themselves that it's definitely different.
Is it sometimes more difficult to deal with the resident or their family?
Probably their family sometimes. But you guys kind of deal with that a little bit more than I do.
It can be both, but I can't say I've really had any bad experiences with family members or residents at this point. We try to work with them and make sure that they're happy, and
And we function as a family too. So it's not, you don't see that difficulty, you see it more as a family unit and working together on something to make it better. So that's the difference. So we're not really taking it as a difficulty, but more on working on things together.
Are there residents that drive?
Yes.
They still drive? So parking is available and?
Yep.
So I just didn't know that much about assisted living. I really didn't.
We have a massage therapist too, and
Now, when you talk about those, is that something they pay for? You talked about haircuts earlier and shampoos. Is that
right? That's something additional that they can either get that or they don't have to. It's up to them. So I know our massage therapist. She runs specials and gives them a discount if they're a resident, and then she also takes people, outside clients. So.
Now, when you were growing up, because you're all not that old, but when you were growing up, is this something you thought you'd do? I mean, did you think you were going to become an RN, marketing, and residents? I mean, is that?
If you had told me at 18 I was going to be a nurse, no.
What did you want to be?
I actually want to be a hairstylist.
Oh.
I wanted to be a lawyer at one point.
Okay. Wow.
I'm
Gabrielle.
pretty much where I thought I would be.
Really? So when you were 5 years old, you said, "Mom, this is what I want to be."
Not 5. But my degree's in psychology and all my experiences with the elderly, so it's kind of where I fit.
That's fantastic. Do you want to own your own place someday?
No, I don't think so. But I do want to say, too, we had a resident that had expressed an interest in skydiving. And
skydiving?
Yes.
It was on his bucket list.
It was on his bucket list. He happened to mention it to me one day. And I said, "Now, I'm telling you, if you tell me, I'm going to make it happen." He's like, "No, really, I want to go skydiving." So we made it happen.
Really?
Yeah, so he went skydiving. And
Out here at the county airport? Or did you
Yes.
guys-
Which is actually where we're
Right
located.
beside
Right,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, and Dr. Varney was there.
Uh-huh.
His physician assistant, Jeremy Fisher, went with Tom and when he skydived, and it was a great time.
Wow.
We had a party on our back patio because you can see, right, because the airport's right beside us, and so all the residents got to watch him do it too.
Yeah,
So
they
it
actually
was-
let him out above our building.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
How old was it, or how old is he?
he's in his 60s.
Oh, just a young guy.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, he wanted to do it. So we made it happen. So
That is neat.
got to be careful what you say to me.
That is really neat. Working in this environment that all three of you do, is there something that, boy, if I had one day, if I was in charge of assisted living all over America, I would change this?
I don't know. I think everything runs really well where we're at. So I don't think there's too much
There's no
that I would change.
government regulations or laws that you say, boy, this is just stupid. Why are we doing this?
Well, I would just make it free.
I was thinking that.
Anybody could
That'd
live
be a
there.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, better health insurance too. Yeah.
better health insurance.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
do you
another
have
one.
a lobbyist group that lobbies for assisted living people at the federal level or not? So
I'm not sure on that one.
there's as you go throughout your day and you spend a lot of time and you're working with all these different people, do you at times feel that we could expand our services, or we could expand our facility, or maybe we should add this or add that? I mean, do you have a resident that comes in and says, why don't we do this? You know, why don't we build a wing over there and have this? Does that ever happen? Does that ever think outside the box of what you could do?
I don't think we've had that happen just yet. Everybody's been pretty happy with, the facility. And our facility is fairly new as far as 6 years, so
Oh, okay.
I should say community.
Do you have any open houses coming up? Anything that somebody can just come through and?
We do. Actually, we have usually 1 to 2 events per month. Like I was going to say, this month on
This month being March?
Yes, March 21st, we are doing a free senior soup and salad for anyone over the age of 55. So you're invited. We do ask that you call an RSVP because seats are going to be limited. And we are going to have Olive Dale's boot scooters are going to come and line dance and do some Irish dancing for us.
Boot scooters.
Yes, that is what they're called.
Okay.
Olive Dale boot scooters.
And when is this again? When
This is March 21st,
Which is?
a Thursday night.
Thursday night?
5 p.m. It's going to be a fun-filled night.
Absolutely.
There's going to be about 25 line dancers. I know that.
Did you guys line dance?
No.
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 I don't know if they would want us line dancing or not.
When we look at all the different avenues that people have, there's many places they could go. Why would they come to Springs of Carroll? What would be the selling point to come to Springs of Carroll?
I think just it being so family oriented, and our place is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, that's really what I tell people and try to sell on is how beautiful our place is. I mean, when you walk in, it's all modern too, so it's it's new. We have 3 fireplaces, and
Wow.
I mean, yeah, so it's.
Yeah, and I think the care is
Yes,
exceptional
absolutely.
too. I mean, we have 24-hour care. That's a nurse on staff during those 24 hours, or the whole 24 hours, along with NAID. So they have access to a nurse at all times, and even if they may not need that on a day-to-day basis, next week they may have the flu and need that nurse.
Right.
So it's nice that we have that care, and we have really good people working for us and the residents. So I think that's one of the reasons that
Yes. That and all the
Gonna be the
activities that
place.
we provide too.
activities and food.
They are, and the food, that's
those are
really.
the big.
The food we're definitely going to try out. I'm going to be there for
Come on
popcorn at
up.
1 o'clock. I know
Yes.
that. I'm going to be there. That's I know I know a lot of people that are getting up in years that they have to make that decision, or their family does. Do we stay at home, mom and pop stay at home, or do we put them in an assisted living? What do we do? Well, how do you answer that? How do you answer that question?
Well, a lot of times it's a lot on someone to take care of, your mom or your dad, because you end up being more like a caregiver instead of being able to be their daughter or their son. So it's just hard on families, I think. And when they can put them somewhere where they know that they're getting that care, but they can still live like they're at home, then they can go and visit them just like they did when they had their own home.
And I think if people come up, we can go through those pros and cons with them. We're open to having a discussion with them so they can do what is most comfortable for them. And, talk about the different things. One benefit that I forgot to mention was the VA aid and attendance through the veterans. That is a huge benefit, that they can end up getting a lot of money for assisted living. So someone that was a veteran should check into that if they're looking into an assisted living.
And we have a local VA office here where they can go and get, they can talk to a VA rep there and get all the information that they need. And then, eventually, if they are able to get any benefits to the VA, then it would definitely help them a lot.
Is that the Fairfield County Veterans Association group?
Yes.
Up on the hill?
Yes.
Okay. So time has flown by. We just have about just a few minutes left. What do you see on the horizon for assisted living? I mean, is this something that is going to continue to grow? Or is this something that, because the government's not real involved with you guys, right? They don't have, just a couple inspections, things like that. But in the next few minutes, talk a little bit about where you see assisted living going in the near future, maybe in the next 3 to 5 years.
I see it growing tremendously because, again, it's not being in a nursing home. And I think people, are living longer, and they don't want to spend that time, in a bed sharing a room with somebody else and, having that type of atmosphere. So I think that people are really going to start looking into assisted living a lot more. I definitely see it growing.
Same thing?
I agree. I think that once people are educated on it more, it's becoming a bigger thing just because you do have the independence that you would have at home, but with the care right there if you would need it. I think that is one of the positives of it, and once people become aware of that and come check out the buildings, then they will get that feeling and know that that's a good place for them.
Sure.
I have to agree with both of them. They took all the words out of my mouth. No, I do see it growing. I don't see that we'll ever be non-existent, especially people feel restricted in a nursing home because they can't go to the store, they can't do the normal things that they used to do, like if they want to go to an outside beautician or whatever. This just gives them some of their independence, but yet they still have that assistance. So I think it's much nicer.
Well, ladies, we appreciate you coming in today and giving us some updates about the Springs at Carroll. One more time, website, phone numbers, that if people want to get a hold of you.
They can give us a call at 740-654-4529.
Fantastic. Miranda Williams, the Sales and Marketing Manager, Carolyn McKinney, the RN and Wellness Director, and Gabby Tucker, the Residence Director. I had to get that in today.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome for
So
that.
make sure when you call, you ask for Gabby.
You ask for Gabby. That's what you want. Well, ladies, again, we do appreciate you coming in and giving us some updates about assisted living, and hopefully, those people take advantage of it.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lanks Perspective. I'm Mike Miller, and remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.
We can all be energy savers. It's easy. Turn off lights. Use energy-saving light bulbs. And turn off electronics and appliances when not in use. make a change, and we can really fly. Learn more at energy.gov/kids.